Hey guys, what's going on? MutantCowboy here. If you watched my last video, I've made a huge mistake. Basically, you understand that I was trying to offer as much information on incoming and outgoing healing as I possibly could. Kind of trying to dispel as many, rumors or bad testing that, I had seen or I had encountered or that I believe myself. Judging from the comments that I got on that video, I understood that a lot of people were having, their own issues with incoming and outgoing healing. So in this one, I've basically just tried to make, I guess, a little bit easier to see exactly what the healing was doing from my perspective. So you can see that I'm doing basically just doing a, double screen here, so you can actually see what a full modded out heal would look like versus a non-modded out heal. I did happen to actually find some discrepancies that I didn't quite find in the first video, and that mostly has to deal with clutch and the survivalist. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's triggering some of these issues. I couldn't really tell you what's going on with these issues because I don't actually know what's behind the scenes. I don't know the code for the game, right? You'd probably have to, get in touch with the developers. I'm trying to narrow it down a little bit just to, see what actually it is or what it could be. Like I said, I honestly don't know. And I've gotten a few just kind of random things happen that I didn't expect happen or I didn't see happen. And as much as I try to actually test every individual piece, right? I go through, I make sure that I don't have any outliers on my gear. I try not to, I try to account for anything that I might have that I can't get rid of, or I try to, not have recharge, or I try not to have, armor on kill type talents, that kind of stuff when I'm testing, right? So if you're having some of these issues, I don't know what you guys are using. I don't know what kind of gear that you have equipped. I can't say, if you're doing it wrong or if you're doing it right or if you're overlooking something or, I don't know these things, right? All I can do is basically just test from what I've seen. What I've seen is sometimes there's weird little errors. Sometimes there's problems with some of this healing. Clutch has some sort of weird issue where the outgoing healing from the survivalist won't actually increase the healing that it receives. I've tested it a couple times. Once it worked, another time it didn't, another time it did, so it's very weird how this stuff, goes together. I think there might be some sort of issue with the way that like mods for outgoing healing and the outgoing healing from the survivalist might combine and kind of negate some of each other. I'm not exactly sure. Right here, but you're going to see that I kind of created a little table where, it kind of gives some of this what I'm talking about. You can see basically like incoming, outgoing, pretty much everything that I tested, which was the 4 skills for healing and 4 talents that I tested. If you want to pause this here and just, take a look at those, feel free. But basically all I did was I just tested every single aspect that I could. I equipped all the outgoing, I equipped all the incoming, I equipped it incoming and outgoing, I, added survivalist, these kind of things just to see where the healing was at and what was happening. The one thing that I did notice was that the Seeker mine, at least in this testing, did not take any healing from outgoing mods and did not take any healing from the survivalist outgoing. I don't know what caused that. I don't know if that's, just some sort of random issue that happened because of my build type or because of the mods that I was using. I couldn't quite tell. That's kind of the nature of the game. I don't think it's something that, I'm doing wrong. I think there might be some sort of issue with the actual mods themselves. Maybe different mods and combinations with other things cause, weird errors to happen, or basically they just don't go together. I don't know. I can't I can't really dive into it like that to actually explain why it doesn't work. I just know that during this testing phase, during multiple attempts, the outgoing and the survivalist were not working for the Seeker, for the Mender Seeker, that is. Like I said, I've got a question mark on clutch because it just wasn't working the way that it should. I don't know what was causing that. But I try to be as transparent as much as I can with my video, just so you guys can see. I guess it's not really a hard rule that incoming, outgoing mods are going to heal like I say, but generally speaking, that's what I've encountered, right? Incoming and outgoing combine for your self-healing. And for almost 99% of my testing, this is what I saw. But there were issues where it just wouldn't work the way that I wanted it to, or it wouldn't work the way that I expected it to, or it wasn't giving me the exact percentage. Not that I can see the percentage, but I can kind of take a good estimate based on where the bar's at. and I can kind of try to figure out if I'm getting enough healing or if I'm not. Sometimes I wasn't. Sometimes I was getting less than I expected. Sometimes I was getting more than I expected. Other times there would be a huge burst of healing that I didn't really understand where it came from or why I got it. Wasn't sure if it was lag or if it was something else. But there's a bunch of issues that I can't really say that, I can fix. I can't do anything about them. I don't know if it's because of the game, if it's because of the coding, if it's because of lag, or if it's because of, server issues. There's no real way that I can figure it out. That's not to say I'm not going to do more testing. I do want to actually investigate some of these things, help kind of like to actually help pin it down for maybe the developers. Maybe I submit something that actually makes sense and get some of this stuff fixed. But as of now, guys, this is pretty much all I can do for you. I can, try to offer you as best information that I possibly can in regards to these tests. If you don't believe what I'm saying, you can just, watch the footage that are recorded of me comparing the different skills and talents to each other with or without. And that's pretty much, all I can do. I would release, just hours and hours of me testing these things. But I mean, I'm pretty sure no one actually wants to watch that because it's just, 3 hours of inventory management and switching between mods and stuff like that. So it's not really that interesting. I mean, it would just be a huge waste of your time, to be honest, probably. So, if you guys are testing it out, that's great. If you guys are having, your own kind of issues, you're finding your own things, in the comments below, let me know, like, what kind of things are you seeing? What kind of things do you have going on? Is something reacting with something else that you didn't quite think it would? Is something, stopping something? Have you noticed that your build, one specific build that you have built this way, your incoming and outgoing stacks, but if you change up different gear pieces or you use a different specialization, maybe those stacks don't quite work. Hey, if that's what's going on, I think that would be great to figure it out, to kind of track it down. So leave it in the comments below if you find any of this stuff. But as of right now, guys, I pretty much stand by almost 90% of the stuff that I said in the first video, right? Incoming and outgoing stacks, and that's a great benefit to the player, right? To know these things. Does it always work? I can't say that it always does because, as I've pointed out in this video, there's just some issues that I've encountered where it doesn't work the way that I expected it to. But as a whole, I think it's generally good information that incoming and outgoing stack with each other. And for the most part, for the most common stuff, besides for the Mender Seeker, it really does seem to work on a regular basis, right? I'm not really having issues where most of it does not work. Keep those comments coming in. If you have other ideas, if you have other thoughts, or if you still can't get something to work, let me know, because then that just helps us kind of try to figure out and track this stuff down. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one.